Good evening, y'all. It's your favorite sports chica, Carolina Teague, and this is episode 18 of League of Our Own. Welcome back. It is February 15th, and I'm here at VodPod Media Studios with my guy, radio husband and producer, Gylan Jackson, making sure everything is running smoother than olive oil on a baby's behind. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I have the mayor of San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Well, I don't want to piss off Ron Nirenberg.
Have you pissed him off before?
Mayor of sports. When I say I'm the mayor of sport, I handle the sports. He handles all the rest.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay, cool. Anyway.
So how are you, where did that name come from? No, people have asked you that before millions of times, but why are you the mayor? Why aren't you, like, I don't know, maybe the Grand Marshal of San Antonio sports?
Because I'm only half Mexican. If I were full-blooded, they'd let me be the Grand Marshal. No, that goes back to years ago. I was prank calling a show in Houston. And I got through, and I did a fake voice with another talk show, an iHeart show in Houston. And the guy totally fell for it. And I was doing a bit, and we were rolling on it. And I had a bit years ago before the FCC cracked down on this, where we could call shows and prank them, and I would put it on my air just to screw with other shows. And so one dude in Houston got so pissed off one time when he found out that it was me that had pranked him. And then he had me come back on his show to talk about why I pranked him. And he's like, "Who do you think you are? What are you, the mayor of San Antonio?" I go, "I'm the mayor of Sports Talk, bitch." And so that's how that
You
got.
said the word bitch?
I was being cocky, so that's how it started.
You said the word bitch on radio.
Yeah, you can say bitch. As long as you don't bitch.
But you can say bitch. I've never said bitch on radio, so that's why.
Ever?
Ever.
Oh,
I didn't know you could.
I don't have to use profanity if you don't want me to.
No. You can use profanity here, but I mean, like on radio.
At iHeart World, you can damn hell ass bitch.
Okay, and that's as far as it goes.
Yeah,
Not like
as long
fuck,
as,
shit.
No, can't say fuck on FCC. Bullshit. I wish you could.
Yeah.
But no, damn ass hell, bitch.
Not fuck.
Never fuck.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You can use derivatives of bitch.
Okay.
Right, like son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That guy's a bitch.
Bitch made.
Bitch made. Bitch mania.
Okay.
All the bitches, all that kind of thing. But they don't like you to do it a lot, but you can.
But what about the word hoe? Like, you're acting like a hoe right now.
That's not good. No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to get fired, but it's going to creep out my producer, and he'll tell me to not do that again.
Yeah, I try to eliminate cursing, period, because then I'll just go hard in the paint. Like, I will go really, really full-blown curse words. And now that's how you got the term mayor. So how did you get in radio? Where did the passion start? Because if people don't know, if you're just watching this for the first time, Mike Taylor is it the #1 show? Like where are we at in ratings? Because I don't know how that works.
Brag, Carolina.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's call it. It's the longest tenured show in town. I just went over the 15-year mark last year. No one else has been on consecutively for 15 straight years. So.
Well, you got a huge following. I think it's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, we're pretty lucky, man. We came in here and I got the job in 2007, and I didn't know if I'd make it a year. And there's just a pretty cool, hardcore group of people that decided to like the show, and they've kept us on the air all these years. So.
Why didn't you think that you would make it? Because
didn't I?
Yeah, why didn't you? Why did you think, I'm going to be here for a year and that's probably it?
Well, shit, because I was moving came down here from the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and no one knew who I was. There was no reason why. I knew that I had a plan how to do what I wanted to do. I knew that this city did not have a show that sounded like the kind of show that I wanted to do. And that's why I took the job as a challenge, but I've never been like, I never once thought, oh, this show's going to just, I'm going to be this shit. In 15 years, I'll still be doing this. Because no one goes, few people last 15 years on the same, with the same company, and I didn't want to be like overly confident. I wanted to be realistic. And it didn't. And of course, a lot of things have to happen. You have to get lucky. The timing has to be right. You already have to have people that listen to the station you take a job at. You have to have support from your management. They got to let you go in there and do what you do. They got to sell that thing. They got to promote that thing. They got to market that thing. So all that shit had to come together. And oh, by the way, people have to think your show's worth of crap. And thankfully, all that kind of had happened. The timing just worked out. So I'm not trying to be overly humble, but I mean, you could put Howard Stern in my chair, and if they could have hired Howard Stern in 2007, and if they're not selling it and they're not marketing it, Howard's out because no one's going to listen to it or buy it.
Yeah, because and to be honest, like just me, I've been in radio for 6 years. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's so hard, and the culture and the landscape is always changing. And I think I've looked at your stuff. I really have thought about what makes somebody in radio last a really long time.
What's so good about that dude? He's not that good.
Yeah. No, not like that. But I think longevity is interesting because, like I said, the landscape's always changing. Everything is always moving around in different pieces. And I think what works for you is you have a squad, and they're called the Thunderdome, and they go hard in the paint for you, super hard in the paint.
Yeah.
And I also think that you have been able to grasp San Antonio culture because you have the term puro, which I think you should get trademarked, by the way. I don't know if you have or haven't, but I feel like that when you hear the word puro, I think about you and your fan base.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I'm
There's
serious.
A lot of people like, what's she talking about? That fool.
And what is that too, by the way? Is it like Fred's Fish Fry? Like, what is this like puro thing? Like
pure San Antonio, man. And first of all, I am. My girlfriend's way more San Antonio than I am. I'm still learning parts of our city 15 years after moving here because I haven't always lived here. I've been back and forth. And now that I'm here full time, I'm still learning things about this town. I'm trying to keep up with the evolution of the city. But you're right about that. What I would tell anybody that wanted to get a show that goes to a new city that they're not from, you need to fucking baptize yourself in that town. There are people that are from here that never go to the west side, never go to the south side. That's bullshit. And if you're going to be some outside dude, and especially me, I came from Dallas. I was this is this Dallas dude. He's working for the Maverick station. This is at the apex of the Spurs-Mavs rivalry. And here I am coming in here. Who's this dude? I got blasted by a lot of people in this town when I first got this job because he's not from here. He don't know shit about San Antonio. And so I knew that I had to immerse myself in this city. And so when I was not on the air, those first couple of years when I first moved here, I was out doing stuff. People would email me, you should go to this restaurant. I would go and then talk about it on the air. You should check out this park. I would go. And then talk about it on the air. And I was honest too. I'm like, hey, I'm not from here, but I damn sure want to. I didn't want to be a poser, so I showed up and said, look, the only thing I knew about San Antonio when I got this job was how to get to SeaWorld and where the Alamo was, and that's stupid. So I reached out to people and said, look, I know I'm not from here, but I'm here now. And so help me out. So that's how I started building the audience because people wanted, fine. Let's tell this fool where to go eat. Let's tell this fool where to go swim. And I would do it. And I showed them that I wasn't here to just BS them, that I really meant it about becoming part of the culture. Now, this is my city. There's no reason why I shouldn't be buried here. I plan to be here forever. This is always going to be home.
I always thought you were from San Antonio, so you are.
There you go. See, I tricked you.
Yeah,
See?
You tricked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like next level sorcery. That's what it feels like. I'm like, how did you trick me into thinking? Like, because I thought you were maybe from like, I don't know. You give me like West Side vibes.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm so glad you didn't say Stone Oak.
Yeah, I know. You give me Evans and 281 vibes.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, you give me a little bit of West Side vibes.
Okay, cool.
Are you from Dallas?
Fort Worth.
You're from
right?
Fort
And
Worth.
see, people that don't know anything about where I'm from, it's all just Dallas. Fort Worth it's in another county. They have 1 million people. They have running water. We don't ride horses to work. It's its own fucking city. People from Fort Worth do not like Dallas. San Antonians don't like Dallas. Fort Worth really does not like Dallas. But when you go somewhere and you tell people where you're from, they just automatically call you the Dallas guy. So I had to deal with that when I first got here. He's just some dude from Dallas. He's a Mavs fan, all this kind of thing.
You know what's crazy is that you're from Dallas, and then like years removed, now you're considered the mayor of San Antonio Sports Radio.
It's stupid. It's
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy?
I know. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Again, I've had a lot of lightning strike in a bottle. You asked me about why this show's been able to be sustainable. Watch, I'll get fired Friday. You jinx me.
I know. They're like, we fired Mike Taylor.
Dumb man, you got fired. No, it's sustainable for a lot of different reasons, and that's one of them. You have to engulf. You have to forget your hometown. Forget where you came from. Wash all that out. No bullshit. The first week I was on the air here, I had a curandero come on to the show.
Yay, that's awesome.
To exercise the Dallas out of me. Because I grew up a Mavericks fan, right? And I came here from the Mavs flagship station. And so I had a curandero come in, and I had to give, like you give your heart to Jesus at the altar, I gave my heart to the Spurs and the city at the altar.
Have you ever actually had someone do an egg cleanse on you, like in real life?
Well, not a real egg. I've had the cascarones popped on my head.
In Fiesta?
As a symbol, yeah.
Oh,
We did a
okay.
bit in the studio. That was part of the exorcism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you had an actual egg popped on your head?
Me?
Yeah.
Like an egg that doesn't have cascarón
You mean like
stuff?
a real egg?
Yeah, like an egg.
Like the yolk gets all over you?
No, an egg cleanse is where
What are
you
you
think,
talking about?
like where you think somebody did witchcraft on you, right? It's like a Mexican culture thing.
Uh-huh.
So if somebody, like if you have, it's called ojo. Do you know what ojo is?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you have ojo on you, basically you call I can't say that, curandera.
Yeah.
Curandera, you
Yeah,
call
yeah.
the curandera,
Yeah.
and she comes by and
Yeah.
she puts.
I had a dude, so I called him a curandero. Is that right? You tell me.
I don't
Anyway.
know. That's too long for me. Like Spanish words, I can't go too far.
Okay.
So I know like culero and culera.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
if I
yeah.
go too far, like culandero, like I have to ask you.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm the same.
but I'm not talking about like, did you meet a culero? I'm talking about, did you meet a culandero?
We had a legitimate curandero. This dude came in.
And he was real.
For real, yeah.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
BS. Now, I will tell you, though, my grandma did that to me throughout my childhood. My mother is Hispanic. And so my grandma would go to Mexico and buy all these damn potions that were in these bottles. I didn't know what the hell they said. Now, one of the labels she had in our bathroom closet, our bathroom medicine cabinet, said exorcizado. I'm only assuming it was some sort of get the demons out potion
Yeah,
shit. She
yeah.
was old school Catholic / voodoo shit, like old school Mexicano witch doctor shit. So she would put these little things. She would like sprinkle my sheets. She would put those little oils under my bed. She would take a lock of my hair, bury it in the yard. I don't know what the fuck that meant. She would, when I lost a tooth, she would save the teeth and bury them in the yard.
Oh.
So she was trying to get the ojo out. She would light the sage, hang the garlic and shit like we had vampires. It was crazy, but so I know what I know what you're talking about. So
It
I
worked.
had that when I came here. My selling point was, hey, I'm not from Dallas. I'm from Fort Worth. And I'm part Mexican, so give me a shot. You know, that's how I had to sell myself, and then I had to prove myself after that.
So I think the culandero stuff, it worked.
Yeah,
Because now you have longevity in the business.
yeah,
And I
for
think
sure.
kind of, Mexican witchcraft culture kind of helped you out a little bit, whether you see it or not.
Well, I believe in good energy for sure.
Yeah, good energy, not
yeah.
witches and witchcraft.
Nah,
Yeah.
whatever-
I mean, whatever you're into, good vibes.
If it gives you good vibes,
Yeah,
sure.
good vibes,
And
yeah.
I also had the work ethic. I took this, so I've told this story before. I signed a 1-year contract. 1 year. That's another reason why I didn't want to have unrealistic expectations. I had a 1-year deal with a company option, which meant that at the end of the year, the company could decide to let me go or keep me for 1 more year. I was guaranteed 12 months. That's it. So the first apartment I rented I got a 6-month lease because what if I don't make it a year? They may fire my ass in 8 months. Then I'm stuck with a lease in an apartment for a year. I took a 6-month lease with a 1-year deal because I wanted to make sure, I needed to protect myself. I had little kids and I wanted to make sure that it was going to work because again, you have to have a certain amount of ego and confidence to do this shit, but you also have to have a sane, realistic view because there's a lot of people that don't get jobs doing this that are a hell of a lot better than me. They just didn't get lucky. So I wanted to take advantage of the luck. And then you got to take that opportunity and bust your ass and do the job and put the job first and do all the things you have to do. 50% of this business, Carolina, is out of your control. But 50% is in your control. As long as you take care of the 50% that you're in control of, then you can sleep at night no matter how it goes.
You know what I think is kind of crazy is that I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to do what you do. I don't think people realize. I think people because I hear people talk crap about you. No offense. Like, I don't.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I have a story about the crap talk too, by the way.
But you know what? I went to Radio Row and they were talking. The reason how I found out because Stephen A. Smith autographed my book and it was like the highlight of my life. The reason how I found out Stephen A. Smith was in the building was because I overheard people talking crap about him and saying Stephen A. Smith was here. And the first thing that went off in my head was, oh my gosh, Stephen A. Smith was here. I didn't care that they were talking crap about him, but that taught me a lesson. And the lesson was, it doesn't matter how nice or kind you are to people, they're going to talk crap regardless. Because Stephen A. was getting talked crap about. He didn't even know those people that were talking about him. So you understand what I'm saying when I say that, but I feel like people don't realize or respect how difficult it is to A, have longevity in this business, B, be in radio for a very long time, C, talk on a sports talk radio station and talk about BS for a long time and include sports in it, D or E or F, have a good following, understand the city of San Antonio, understand culture. That's a craft on its own. And I think that people like you guys deserve credit.
Thank you.
I really do, because, people don't give you guys props. And for somebody who's done it myself, it's not easy. So,
I'll tell you a story about the hate. So the first year I was here, there was a shit ton of hate, which was fine. There was also a shit ton of love. But you don't really hear from those people. You hear from the ones that think you suck, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, my mother caught wind of a lot of the things that were being said about me down here when I first got this job. I had to show her. I said, look, come here. I showed her some emails that people thought it was awesome, some emails that people thought it was great. And I had to explain to her that, you cannot do what I do the way I do it, and you're just not going to you're going to have people that think you're awful. They don't like you. They think you're arrogant. You're an asshole. You're lucky. You shouldn't have the job. You're not that good. You're overrated. You're not from here. You don't get us. But that's part of the job. If you don't have a healthy amount of hate, I think it stunts your growth in this business, which is weird because you don't want to I don't want to fake it. I don't want to make people hate me on purpose. I want to be who I am. It has to be organic. But I've always said for years, love and hate are the friends of the talk show host. Indifference is the enemy. When they don't give a shit about you anymore, well, that's when I'll have to pack up and go do something else. But as long as I have a healthy amount of love and hate, then you're going to last. Because if it's all hate, you're not going to last. If it's all love, you're still not going to last because you're going to get boring.
Well, yeah, that, and I noticed when you get all this kind of love, or you don't want to, you don't purposefully ruffle feathers. Now, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying everybody
we act
who
silly,
does it.
But no, it's not. No, it's. I don't bullshit just to get a rise.
Just to get a rise. Yeah, I don't either. And I think that people who listen to radio on a consistent basis or podcasts, for me personally, it's not my intention to ruffle feathers, and maybe possibly for you, because you just said it, that you don't purposefully do it, but it's going to happen. But I feel like the importance and the key is to just be your authentic self. And I feel like that's a part of the reason why you have been able to cultivate what you have, is because, regardless of how people feel, good or bad, you're authentic. That goes I think that translates on radio, because you can hear when people are fake.
Sure.
And they don't last.
There's so many people that do what I do for a living that have good jobs in this business and think all their listeners are stupid, and they're not. They know when you're full of shit. They know when you're making up crap. They know when you're disingenuous. They know when you are faking it. They know. And that's the biggest. And today, with all the shows out there, you're going to lose your audience quick. Guylan was talking about Rush Limbaugh before we went on the air tonight. When in his heyday, and at the peak of Rush Limbaugh's career, okay. So let's say I'll just pick the year. Let's say 2005. Okay. Do you know who the most beloved talk show host in America was in 2005?
Oprah.
It was Rush Limbaugh.
Okay. I'm all Oprah.
Do you know who the most hated talk show host in America was in 2005?
Can I take a guess?
Sure.
You said hated?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It was Rush. Rush Limbaugh,
Oh,
at the height of his
interesting.
career, was the most beloved, most listened to talk show host
Mm-hmm.
in America, and at the same time, the most despised. He had to have police escorts everywhere he went at the same time.
That's pretty amazing.
And we paid him $38 million a year
Wow.
because of that.
Wow.
Because he moved the needle, both sides of the needle. So
Did-
that's the point. If I don't have some hate, then I don't know that I'm doing a good enough job, you know? And I'm not talking about from media people. I'm talking about from listeners. I don't give a shit about what media people think. I'm talking about listeners and stuff. You got excited to meet Stephen A. Smith. But you knew he was there because they were talking shit about him. So back up to now. In 2023, the most hated talk show host in America, well, maybe it's Skip Bayless now, but arguably it's Stephen A. Smith. He's also the most viewed and the highest paid host in America.
Right.
And why is he the most viewed? Because he's the most liked. He has the most love and the most hate, and that's why they pay him double digits of millions of dollars.
I was so embarrassed because I think my soul left my body like when I met him, and I kind of went full blown fangirl.
That's cool.
I was there doing my job, but you know, when I heard Stephen A. Smith, I read his book on the plane, and I used it for motivation because I needed inspiration. Sometimes, you know, I don't know about you, but for me, I need inspiration. And I read his book on the way, and I purposefully slept on the floor because I wanted to feel that hunger. So that
Wait,
way
in your hotel?
I was at an Airbnb.
Oh, wait, you slept on the floor?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Yes.
So you can have appreciation for doing that?
No, not appreciation, but I wanted to feel motivated.
Damn.
And I wanted to feel hungry to do my best job because I didn't know if I was ever going to get that opportunity again.
Damn, I ain't ever sleeping on the floor.
They did offer me to sleep on the bed, but I
That's
was being
amazing.
hard-headed. But
Okay,
you
cool.
know, I read the inspiration. I was like, I need to sleep on the floor. I need to feel like
I
I'm
dig it.
here. You know what
I
I mean?
dig that, yeah.
And so that, you know, I'd wake up, you know, back kind of hurts a little bit, you know, from being
Yeah.
on a crappy thin mattress because
Yeah.
it was a little crappy ass thin mattress.
Yeah.
But the blanket was comfortable. But then I go, you know, to Radio Row, and then I see him, and I brought my book with me because I didn't know that he was going to be there, but I had a feeling, right? And then when I found out he was there, like, I was like, this is fate. Like, you know, it was crazy. And then I, you know, asked him for his autograph. My soul left my body. I asked him for his autograph with all the paparazzi around us.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he said in his voice, I was like, I'm your biggest fan. I was like, I'm your biggest fan. You inspire me. I slept on the floor, like all this shit. And
Nice to meet you, Carolina.
you know, he said, okay. That's what he said to me.
When you told him you slept on the floor?
Yeah. He's like, okay. Like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah. That's cool. I once go ahead. So I met him once years ago. I was in Dallas.
But your
working-
soul didn't leave your body.
God no. No. He was already pretty big time when I met him years ago. It was probably 20 years ago, and he was covering the NBA because it was 2006. So the Mavs and the Heat were in the NBA Finals, and so he was in town covering the NBA as their lead reporter for ESPN, and he was doing a radio show in New York at the time. And he needed a studio, so he bummed our studio. So they made me kind of babysit him, and so when I went down to the hall to get him, brought him upstairs. It was cool.
What a great job.
He's like, do you have any coffee? I'm like, sure, I've got coffee. And so I went and got coffee, and he's like, wait, do you have any cream? I'm like, well, we have half and half. What do you say? I would prefer amaretto. I'm like, oh, dude, we don't have amaretto.
What the hell's amaretto? What is that?
It's a flavor of cream. You ever had amaretto? You see it. 7-Eleven has amaretto, I think.
Oh, okay.
Is it ice cream? Try amaretto ice cream. It's good.
So he was being
So
bougie.
he was being bougie. That was cool. So I got in the car, drove down the street to the QT, or the Quick Trip, and thank God they had amaretto. So that's my Stephen A. Smith story. So
And that's
I
what-
thought he was bougie, but you know what? So fucking what? That dude's a champion, you know, and he's still, look at him now, he's rolling. So I didn't hate him, but you know, with him there's a love-hate relationship because he's bombastic and arrogant and full of swagger and full of success. So it is what it is.
That's why I love him because, like, you know, you're the biggest sports personality in San Antonio, in my personal opinion. And
Thank you.
had to grab Stephen A. coffee.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
he's
yeah.
major to me. If you had a fangirl over, or fanboy over one personality,
Yeah.
or who would it be, and have you met them?
In our business?
Yeah, in our business.
That's a good one. Wow. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of everyone that's out there that I would fanboy over. Honest to God, I've already met the dude. I've already had that fanboy moment. Mm-hmm. So you may not know this guy's name because he was very local. I grew up listening. Well, crazy story. My insane career. So there were two guys that were the most popular guys in Dallas when I was a kid in the late 80s and early 90s into the mid 90s. One of the guys was Mike Reiner. Mike was the guy who founded the first all-sports station in Dallas-Fort Worth in 1994. And everybody thought he was a nut. No one thought, it's like, all sports all day? Psh, that's stupid. Mike co-founded that. I was 19 years old when that station went on the air, and so they got me quick. Mm-hmm. They hooked me. And last year, I had a chance to have Mike on my YouTube show, and that was very surreal for me because people that know both of us or have listened to both of us, when they listen to my show, you'll hear some pinches of him in what I do because I grew up listening to him. Mm-hmm. Another guy that I idolized is a guy called Randy Galloway. Randy was a columnist too for the paper. He was kind of like the Dan Cook of Dallas, mm-hmm. where he wrote columns in the paper, but he also did a talk show. And I actually got to work with Randy. Mm-hmm. One of my first gigs was in Dallas at ESPN in 2001. And in 2003, they hired Randy Galloway, my idol. And so I got to hang out with Randy and know Randy. And then I spent a summer actually co-hosting with Randy Galloway. Mm-hmm. So this is my idol, a guy that I worship. Can you imagine if they asked you, hey, we need you to co-host with Stephen A. Mm-hmm. for a few months? And then, be his producer too. Can you imagine the feeling of that?
Yeah, we got fired.
I got to live that. I got to live that in the summer of 2006. So, and then I just texted Randy the other day because he's retired. He just turned 80. And so I texted him the other day to say happy birthday. So I've been lucky enough to meet the guys that I would fanboy over.
That's cool.
Love Dan Patrick. I respect Dan a lot. I got to hang out with Dan some. Mm-hmm. I spent a weekend with Dan Patrick in 2000, I want to say 3 or 4. So 20 years ago, Annika Sorenstam was dominating the LPGA Tour. And she was so good winning every tournament that her sponsors are like, you can compete on a PGA. Mm-hmm. So Annika Sorenstam made history. She became the first female to play in a PGA event. Mm-hmm. She played in Fort Worth at the Colonial. Mm-hmm. Dan Patrick brought his show to Fort Worth because it was such a historical moment. And I was at ESPN in Dallas. We set up this little deer stand over the 18th green so Dan and Rob Dibble, his co-host, could do their show in there. And I was their babysitter. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got to be a fly on the wall for my fucking heroes. Mm-hmm. And so I spent 3 days with Dan, and I tried. You have to get over that. You have to get over, oh my God, it's fucking Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
I had to do the job, know. Mm-hmm. And so I got over that, and he was like, hey, Mike, do you think you might be able to go down and get Annika when she's done with her round? I'm like, Sure. And he wanted to have her on the air. Sure, of course. So I'll never forget this. I went into, so Annika finishes her round. They take her into the tent to do the press conference. And I'm sitting there. So she gets up to walk off. So I follow her. Oh my God. And she had mass security because it was a huge, huge story. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, Annika. And I can feel the fingertips of a Fort Worth police officer reaching for my fucking collar. I'm like, Annika Sorenstam, I'm with the Dan Patrick show. And she's like, oh, Dan. Thank God I name dropped Dan. So she's like, she stops and she's like, oh, you're with Dan. I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, cool, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. Thank God. And so I straightened my collar. That cop had grabbed it. And so I escorted her up to the deer stand, and she was on with Dan. To that point, that was the accomplishment of my career. And Dan took me for a steak dinner that night to show appreciation.
That sounds so similar to my Stephen A. story because I had to name drop in order to get him to stop to give me an autograph.
Oh, that's cool.
And he looked me in the eyes. I could tell he respected me when I said what I said.
Yeah.
Then he said, I'll sign your book. He only stopped for me.
That's cool.
Out of all the 50 paparazzi.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and also too, did that those 3 days that you said you worked with your idol, right?
Yeah.
Did that inspire you?
Sure.
What did it do?
And it's funny because his co-host was Rob Dibble, who pitched for the Cincinnati Reds for a while, and then he got into radio. Rob told me, he was like, man, stay in this business. We need more guys like you at ESPN. You should be in Bristol. I was in my 20s at this time, and at that point, I thought I was going to wind up going to Bristol and doing sports centers on the radio. You know, like, hey, I'm Mike Taylor. You know, you like the top of the hour at radio sport. That's what I wanted to do at that time before this crazy talk shit took off. But yeah, absolutely was inspirational. I'm not sitting here with you if not for a couple of people that went to bat for me when I was a kid and let me do this shit. And that's where the old cliche about, opportunity, and effort, and do you take advantage when that curtain rises? I mean, someone's got to turn the light on and raise the curtain. But when that curtain goes up, are you ready to roll? And you better be ready to roll. You're done. And that's a thing. And a lot of people that also want to do what we do, or maybe they think they should be, or it didn't go quite as well. They didn't take advantage of opportunities. A lot of them just didn't get opportunities, and that sucks. But there's a lot of people that do get opportunities and fuck it up. And I didn't want to do that. I mean, I told myself, I would give myself till I was 30 years old to actually be able to do this for a living and not have to have a second job. And I beat it by. I got a gig at ESPN. I was 24. It was part time, and I got promoted to full time. And when I was 28, and so I was a year. I was going to go. I went through a teaching program in college. I was going to go teach because I was just kind of fed up with
everything,
trying to make it.
Yeah.
And this was in 2001. I'm backing up. I was 6 weeks away from taking a job at Plano East High School in Plano, in Dallas, when I got a call from ESPN. They wanted to hire me. But then that was still part-time for 4 years. I sacked groceries. I was a cashier at Sam's Club. I did public address for the local baseball teams in town just to pay bills. And I told myself, if I can't just do this job by 30, I'm going to get out of it. Because I either wanted to be big time, not that I'm big time now, but I either wanted to be big time
make
or
a living.
Out. I didn't want to be. That's just how it was for me. Because I did have a passion to teach and coach and do other shit, and I would have been at peace with that. But thank God, at 28, I got my first radio contract, a full-time 3-year deal with ESPN, and been in it ever since, full-time. I've never had, since 1998, I've only had a job in broadcasting. Pretty crazy.
I couldn't imagine you as a teacher. Like, what were you going to teach?
I was going to be just like generic history teacher and football and baseball coach.
That's my uncle right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like men who are into sports, they always want to be history teachers.
I was me. I was that same cliche.
Well, I'm gonna do history and then end up as a coach. I'm like, why does every man who's into sports want to teach history?
I don't know. Maybe there's something in the DNA. There's the psychiatry of it. I don't know.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Do you watch Ancient Aliens? Like, are you that historic? Like, you like watching stuff about dinosaurs and stuff? Is that why you were like, I love history?
I'm currently reading a book on the origins of the Kennedy family.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and not John, his great grandmother, who immigrated from Ireland in the mid 1850s. I'm halfway through that book now.
See,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's an affliction.
Like, men who are into sports, cliche, they love history.
Yeah.
I'm like, gosh, like. It's crazy to me. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
So you started when you were 19, you said, on radio.
My first gig, like paid gig, I was 21.
Okay, so 21, and then you gave yourself till you were 30. So that was a total of 7 or 8 years.
At 28, I got my first full-time job. So 6.5, 7 years.
Okay, that's not bad.
Toiling, busting ass, sleeping on couches, sleeping in cars. Because I also, when I first got internships and got that part-time gig at ESPN, I told them, tell me what to do. We need somebody to go cover car racing. Okay, fuck yeah, I'll do it. And I'm like studying NASCAR. I don't know shit about car racing, but I wanted to show them that I could do anything and would do anything. And thank God it worked out.
Now you found this balance of talking sports, but also talking about other things. And one of the difficulties that I have, and I see other people have, is finding that balance. What is the art to that?
The sports versus other stuff?
On the radio.
Because the Ticket in Dallas, when they went on the air in '94, they were kind of a guy talk station. and so they talked about whatever, and it flowed naturally. And when I was at ESPN, it was straight sports, which was fine, and I can do that. But I don't want to just talk about sports all day. I like sports. I just want to. I believe that the best, especially locally, the best local radio in any market is guy talk, not just straight sports. Now, it can't be 90% guy talk. You got to mix in sports, but like. You like sports, obviously, so like, hey, meet me at the bar, we'll watch the game. Or like, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time, let's go hang out. Hey, how's it going? What's up? How's your husband? How's the kid? Blah, blah, blah. So in our conversation, you and I, no doubt, because we like sports, are going to talk about sports. But it's not going to just be about that. Oh, cool, you like Topo Chico? Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm drinking Topo.
By the way, you haven't drank that, and that's kind of like really bothering me. Because you told me before the show started.
I'm drinking now.
You need to chug it for 3 seconds.
I'm halfway through.
Chug it for 3 seconds because
okay. Well,
I've been drinking the whole time.
Okay, well, I'll finish my point. The point is, I just don't want to talk about sports all day, nor does anybody else. They talk about their kids and their shitty job and the fucking traffic and, oh, my God, it's 82. It's going to be 30 on Saturday. I want to talk about all that shit. I'm also a news junkie, too. I love the news, and I just can't do a show without mentioning weather balloons in Alaska or fires on the west side. So
okay,
3 seconds?
3 seconds.
Count to 6.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Mississippi, 6. Okay, give me some seconds, too. Me.
Why was that a big deal?
My
That's
turn.
a tall boy, too. Okay, you got 6 seconds?
I think I have like 3.
You have enough left?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
You've been chugging. I'm chilling. I'm doing all the talking. That's why I've been sipping. All right, ready? Go.
Go. Wait, what are we doing? 3 or 6 seconds?
6.
Okay. Oh, why? You're bigger than me.
Okay, 5? I don't know.
Give me 4.
Oh, my God.
I'll do 4. Okay, ready, go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5.
Oh, I forgot.
You're fine.
Okay.
I'm going to burp on your ear now.
That's disgusting, but
I'm
you can
sorry.
if you want to. You're the guest.
I won't. I'll hold it in.
You're the guest. Please do. Wait. Okay. Let me
burp on iHeartRadio every day.
That's nasty. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And people listen to that? Like they listen to you burp on. That's gross.
Actually, no. So one time, every once in a while, I'll burp just to be a dumbass, just to be goofy. Hang on. I didn't want to burp on your ear. So they recorded me burping. There's like 6 burps in there of me, and so I'll be in the middle of something serious, like, oh man, I can't believe that guy got hurt. I hope his career's not over. And they'll fire off a burp drop, and it pisses me off. And so every once in a while, I actually will now. It's turned into a stupid gag, and so listeners can't tell if it's legit or not. A lot of them probably think it's disgusting for sure, and wish we'd stop doing it, but. It does need to run its course, but it's been a bit for about a year now.
Well, I'm a girl, so I feel
know,
like
I'm sorry.
So I'm different. Like I feel,
Understood.
yeah. You know, men like gross crap, like burping and farting and
I know it's awful.
gas and like
it's awful.
Like
yeah,
it's gross to me.
I would never fart in front of anybody. No,
that's nasty.
Although we have tomorrow's fart drop Thursday, so farts are funny. I just don't want them to be my farts.
Let me ask you.
Like I will not fart in front of Nina. I won't do it.
That's good.
If she's ever heard me, it was because I was asleep. It was accidental. But if I have to go, I'll sneak it outside. Oh, I'm going to walk the dogs, babe. As I'm walking outside. I would never do that in front of her. No.
Okay, so how do you feel about women being on sports radio?
I haven't... What's the point? Why wouldn't I have a problem with it? You know.
I didn't say you would. I'm just wondering, like, what
okay,
are
I
your
know.
thoughts?
I'm being silly. I'm gonna give you a funny story. See, I'm an old man now. I've got tons of stories.
How funny? Like, is it super funny? Like 10 out of 10? Like,
I'll give you a quick story. No, it's really cool. So
okay.
Okay, go with me on this. So, I grew up in Fort Worth, reading the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the local paper, and. They had a Cowboys beat writer named Jim Reeves. He was great. And then Revo, as we call him, he got promoted to columnist in the mid-'80s, and so they had to have a new beat writer. You know the beat writer. They cover the team every single day. Jack McDonald covers the Spurs every single day. It's his whole life.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's a hard job.
So, it is so hard.
So I saw, okay, cool. The Star-Telegram's got a new beat writer. Okay, cool. Who's this dude? They brought this new dude in. He's going to cover the Cowboys. His name's Josie Karp. Okay. Josie Karp, Josie Karp. That's a funny name, but whatever, cool. Was blah, blah, blah. Never didn't know what Josie looked like or nothing, so I'm reading. So 2 years of reading Josie Carp every day writing about the Dallas Cowboys, a man's sport, you know. And then all of a sudden I'm watching CNN one day, in the early days of CNN, and they're like, up next we're going to talk to Fort Worth Star-Telegram Cowboys beat writer Josie Carp. Oh, cool. I've never seen what Josie looks like. I'm going to watch it. They pan to Josie. Josie's got boobs. Josie's got long blonde hair. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You had no clue she was a woman.
Zero.
You just thought Josie was a guy.
Correct.
Yeah,
I
that's
assumed
not-
it was a guy named Josie. 2 years into reading Josie's work every day, and she was fantastic. And so any anti-chick in sports. I was a kid. I was in high school, you know. So, you know, any misogyny I may have had ended right there with that, because like, what the hell? That's cool. So I've worked with girls before. And when I was at ESPN, I worked on a show that had a Star-Telegram columnist. Her name was Jennifer Floyd Engel. She married my good buddy Mac Engel, and Jen wound up writing for FoxSports.com. One of the greatest football writers this state's ever had is Shireen Williams. She's in the Pro Football Writers Hall of Fame.
Nice.
She votes in Canton every year for the Hall of Fame. Shireen is probably solely responsible for getting Bob Hayes into the Hall of Fame finally, because she went to bat for him. Shireen went to bat every year for Drew Pearson and politicked and lobbied, and finally Drew got in. Shireen's the shit.
That's badass.
So women in sports media, and women can't play football. Well, neither can you, pendejo. You're 5'7". You know what I mean?
You're 5'1".
I'm 5'9". I weigh 160. I can't play football either, Carolina. But so there's no difference in our brains when it comes to watching ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's because people have told me before, like, oh, you can't talk football or we won't let you talk football because you don't know football. But I love football. I'm like, what are you talking about? I want to talk to you about Nina in just a second, because, you know, I'm glad you're here, but I'm also really glad that you brought Nina more than anything, honestly, because she's the truth. So I can't wait till she comes in. But real quick, I'm going to do a quick hit with you, because you said you like news.
Sure.
And you said you like sports. So
I
the
do.
light bulb went off in me.
Okay.
Okay, but before I ask you the quick hit, you got to drink that for 3 seconds.
Damn.
6. Let's do 6 again.
Okay. You just want me to tell the truth when Nina gets
Yeah.
here.
Yes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do it for 3. It's your turn. Count.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
See, okay, I thought we were equal. You only have to go 3 times. But
Equal opportunity.
I should be able to talk football. Well, I'm a girl. I can't drink that beer for 6
I'm
seconds.
half your size.
Okay, that's
I'm
fair.
half
All
your
right,
size.
Okay,
It
that's
has
fair.
nothing to do with my vagina. It has
That's
everything
fair.
to do that I'm half your size.
That's fair. Okay, cool. Okay,
Do you
ready?
see-
yes,
you see what I'm
yes,
saying?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay, ready?
Okay, don't call me ma'am.
Sorry.
That makes me feel old.
Nah,
Call me
I'm
miss.
sorry. I was raised. I say ma'am, dear.
Is that like a Texas thing?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I'm not offended no more.
Okay, cool.
You're being respectful.
Yeah.
That you're like ma'am.
No,
Like old lady ma'am.
I have 5 sisters. I say ma'am and thank you, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay.
I call my
so
sisters ma'am.
Oh, so you're like a Texas gentleman.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So no offense. You're still one of the bros, but I'm going to call you ma'am.
Right. And like I
Okay.
said, you know, me drinking for 3 seconds as opposed to you at 6 has nothing to do with my vagina. It has everything to
Understood.
do with the fact that I'm smaller than you.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood. Okay, quick hit on sports.
Okay,
Oh, wait, you
okay.
got to count for me for 3
Okay.
seconds.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
Go, go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
That was good.
Wow. Very nice.
Real quick.
You get it. These people need to like float you some cash here.
That's a great idea. They should. Okay, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Quick hit. Minute or less. News and sports. Greg Simmons. He got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
It's highly unfortunate because I know that Greg a lot has used a driver on nights where he would go out. Obviously did not use one this time. I think it's very unfortunate that KSAT decided to fire him because he's been there 42 years.
Wait, they said he resigned.
Well, sure, but he's gone.
Yeah.
No way he resigned on his own. And I know he didn't because he wouldn't hire 2 lawyers and sue their ass. He's going to sue KSAT. You watch. Oh, he's going to sue the company that owns him, I'll bet you. He hired 2 lawyers to defend him. And he hired a high-priced power badass lawyer. He's going to fight probably to get his job or at least get paid for the rest of his contract. 42 years at KSAT, you let the guy walk? I'm not I'm not saying he didn't screw up, but you got people in this town that are also on television that have multiple DUIs that are still employed. And this dude, 42 years, he's gone.
That's
Come on,
strange.
man.
I was gonna say, when back in my hood rat days, I used to go to Sherlock's. I don't know if you ever heard of that spot.
I have, sure.
Okay, so he would be there.
Yeah.
And he was a fan favorite. Everybody loved him.
He's a man
He
about
was-
town.
Yeah, he was fun. He was like would go to spots and mingle with the people.
Yeah.
So we, as a city, we love Greg Simmons.
Sure.
So when the news came out, oh my gosh, it was like my heart shattered. And there was a campaign on social media to let him slide because everybody in San Antonio loves him so much. And I thought that was impressive.
Suspension? Sure, I get it.
Yeah.
A public apology, so sorry, I'm going to rehab, all that. Cool, do all that.
Yeah.
But to let to burn the guy? Okay.
Now, mind you, it's not okay to be like drinking and driving.
Of course. No,
but-
he should have been punished, but termination?
Yeah.
Or forced resignation, whatever it wound up being, after that long? I could see if he'd only been on the job 2 years. Homeboy's been there 4 decades, and that's just like
Yeah.
that. See, I think that they just I think that they wanted, it was a chance to get him off their payroll, honestly. It's just me talking. It's not my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, sounds about right because he's Greg M.F. Simmons.
Yeah,
everybody loves him.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's expensive.
Sure, that station saved a shit ton of money in the last 3 weeks with him not being on the payroll.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes
sucks.
when you get rid of your best talent.
Reduce his pay, suspend him, whatever. But let him walk. They had it looks to me as an outsider with no inside information whatsoever. Just as a dude, it reeks of they were just looking for an excuse, and and that was it.
Now that you say it like that, because I thought he just resigned, because I don't know the ins and outs of how the industry works. Now that I know that, your thoughts, I'm going to see how the story unfolds. Because like I said, all I remembered was Hood Rat, Sherlock's. We loved him. And I saw all the campaigning for him to know what he did was wrong, right? It's not okay.
Yeah.
But for him to resign, it was like, oh my God, like this is a San Antonio staple.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the boots at North Star. He's
I
been there
know.
for that long.
Sure.
Nina, has she brought out more of your Mexican side? I was gonna ask you that because you're half, right? You're kind of like the Great Divide for Bluebell ice cream. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Like, yeah, you're like the Great Divide.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I'm gonna be just my opinion because I don't know you
Okay.
guys personally. I've noticed you've been all puro the whole time. I don't know if it's because I'm drinking the Topo Chico, but I feel like you're more puro now. And I wonder.
She gives me cred.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
it because of Nina? Because I have a feeling it's because of Nina. Nina has pulled out the like you were puro then, but you're puro now.
Well, I think number one is I genuinely love Nina.
Aw.
I love her. And so
Are you in love? Like in love, not love,
it's
but
over.
in love.
It's over.
Like this is the love of your life.
Yep, it's gone. The ball went over the fence. And so because she's Mexicana and San Antonio Central, that clearly has had an impact on me, no question. It's funny because before I knew her, I was this half Mexican dude. But
Yeah,
with Nina,
you were the Great Divide.
She doesn't give me any credit. I'm just white guy. It's funny because like all my life I've been this short half Mexican guy. With her now, I'm a tall white man. She actually has this thing in her phone where she makes notes every time I do something white that makes her crazy. Like I don't understand something or I do something stupid. Where she's like, "Oh my God, living with a white man." So I'm with her. I'm an all white man. So I'm trying to work on my burro.
That's
like
really
hi.
that's
Oh,
hi,
look.
Nina.
Oh my God, she was in my
I get my
pocket.
own mic.
I took her. Hey, we were in. She was in my pocket. See, she shows up, and all of a sudden I start getting the accent. See what happened? See?
No mames, the queen has arrived.
Hey, babe.
It came out.
Did you
just
hear?
like
I told
that.
him I loved you.
We got my girl Nina from Being a Chisme, super bomb chick.
Let me get
Mine's-
the.
mine's
Okay,
empty.
I guess my show's done. I'm gonna sit over here.
Okay.
I finished.
So,
Damn.
so I need to expose. We're gonna do this segment called "Expose Mike Taylor."
Oh.
So yeah,
Let's
let's
go for it.
expose his ass.
Oh my
I was
God.
talking back there. I'm
11
telling
inches.
Gylan- I'm okay, yeah. I'm telling Gylan like all these things. I'm like, what? He's lying.
What do I know about?
Well, no, not lying. There's certain things. So you asked about him, like if there's certain things that he's become more Mexican about. He says stupid a lot more.
It's stupid.
And
Stupid.
That's real stupid.
It's not stupid. It's stupid.
Stupid.
He
Like,
uses
but
the
it
word
ends with a
stupid
T,
lot
not
more.
a D. Stupid.
Stupid. Okay.
I'm working on it. Stupid. Nah, he's stupid.
What is some white people shit? I mean, no offense to
Oh
white
my
people. What's
God.
some white people shit that he does? Like, I need to know.
She's
'cause-
got like 55 things.
I left my phone over there, but like, okay, so I'm 41 years old, right? 41. I've never used a dishwasher in my life. I do that
yeah,
shit
you
by
right
hand.
hand. Yeah.
Who uses
Nope.
a dishwasher? You know who? White people.
I do.
White people use dishwashers. So I have lived. We just moved in together in what, December? Yeah. So we just moved into a new place. For the first time, I caved. I'm now using a dishwasher.
What?
I know.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry.
Girl.
I apologize publicly.
So he's rubbing off on you.
Yes.
Wait a minute. You don't use a
He put
dishwasher in
horseradish on horseradish. Is that
Mine's
what it's
broken.
called?
My dishwasher's broken.
Oh,
'cause I'm not
you
using it.
Horseradish
can't.
on
Okay.
burgers.
Horseradish
What
is,
the hell is that?
is
Exactly.
great.
He eats sardines out of a can.
Oh, it's
Ew.
fucking good. It's good for you, babe. Omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay, girl, he has chanclas. They cost him $180. Who the fuck pays $180
$8 for chocolate glass.
But
What
they're
brand
awesome.
is it?
No,
Olukai.
I'm like, it's all coming out now.
Hand stitched in Hawaii by Hawaiian people, and they're awesome. And they fixed my bunion problems.
Ew.
No, you still have the bunion.
No, but it doesn't hurt though. It doesn't hurt. I can't get rid of it. But the pain went away. They're miracle shoes. I can mountain climb in those.
He shines his chanclas.
Why do you all?
They're genuine leather. You got to shine them on occasion, like you shine cowboy boots.
They're $180 chanclas.
I've never shined chanclas.
But I've had them 7 years.
What's the most expensive? I just bought my most expensive chanclas actually in December.
Okay.
They're my polo chanclas, and they
Probably
were
more than 180.
they were $60, half off, $30.
Oh, hell.
Oh, hey!
Christmas,
Okay,
Black Friday,
see?
but they're cute. They're furry.
that.
They're
That makes
polo.
sense.
They're very cute.
They were on sale.
Yeah, they're on sale chanclas, but I wouldn't spend $180 on chanclas because it's not a chancla anymore. It's something else. It's like
It was a
an
medical
actual-
decision because I had a very painful bunion.
Okay.
How did you guys fall in love? Like, I really want to know because you guys have a new podcast coming out. It's called Pickles and Dinner with Nina and Mike.
Pickles for dinner.
Pickles for dinner. Pickles and
Pickles
dinner.
at dinner.
It's about sex.
No, it's not. it's not.
It drops tomorrow.
It does at 7 p.m. We'll
Which,
be
by
live
the way, this is
tomorrow.
perfect because I had no clue that you guys were gonna drop this news. So I feel
We
like I
used
got,
you.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know. I got
Yeah, we're gonna
used.
be live on her show.
I thought I was good, but damn,
No, we're
y'all
kidding.
got me. No, but no, I feel like I'm excited about the podcast. It's coming out. What but I need to know, how did you guys fall in love? Because I've seen you at the Mike Taylor cook-off, which
I
we
know,
haven't
I
talked
didn't
about.
even- I didn't even know him then.
You didn't know him, yeah. Yeah.
When you and I met, that was it. You brought me.
Yeah. You didn't
She
talk to him at
found-
all.
She was the one that found alcohol when there was supposed to be
Gyla,
no
are you going to cut this
alcohol.
show off at some point?
There was
Sorry.
supposed to be no alcohol, and she found alcohol at your event and kept, because Brad, shout out to Brad at the
I love
Salvation
Brad,
Army,
yeah.
he was like, Nina, you gotta be here at 11 a.m. and my shit wasn't until 3 p.m.
We got that fixed,
And
by the
she
way.
found alcohol for
The
me.
judges won't have to stay all day now.
But yeah, no, I didn't even know him then. Isn't that crazy?
Well, that was what I'm saying.
that
You didn't.
whole
I remember
event.
I talked to you a lot. You
Nope.
didn't even really talk to him.
Nope. I was just
So
standing
like you
there.
were just a judge.
I was literally just a judge. And
Yeah.
so it's funny because I think a lot of people have this idea that he was up in my DMs, or what is it, down in them, up in them, whatever. He's up and down in all sorts of things now. But not in my DMs.
But no,
so-
not at the time. Like there's no indication.
Pretty fly for a
There
white
was
guy.
No, yeah.
And the long story short was he had reached out to, I think, several local outlets, or several local TV shows, media shows, because he was in Hawaii, Miss in San Antonio, wanted merch.
Yeah.
So he reached out to Bean and Cheeseman. At the time, I was the one that was in control of all the like social media for Bean and Cheeseman. So I saw, okay, this dude, Mike Taylor, whatever, he wants merch. I legit thought he just wanted merch. So
Oh, I
we're-
got it too.
Yeah. you
What
got
kind
more
of
than
merch
that.
did he want?
Like Bean and Cheeseman merch. He's
Oh,
like,
okay,
hey,
okay.
love the
Okay.
Yeah, well,
show.
so you legit thought he wanted
guys are
merch. Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this dude just wants merch. So mind you, we're supposed to meet up in December.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen. Complete side story. My oldest son was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so for like 9 months, I fell off the world. Like, just felt he became my priority,
Right.
and my all of it. We went through chemo, the whole thing. So he was coming in December. No way I could meet up. My world was, again, everything was ripped from under me. But then he came back in March from Hawaii, was like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Do you want to meet up? I even tried that day, telling you, like, look, if you don't have time, I can just snail mail you your merch. He's like, no, let's meet. Girl, I had a pink bag full of merch. I had a card in there. Thank you for being a supporter. Like, all stupid. Again, thinking I was just meeting this radio guy that wanted merch. Went to go meet him at the Point here in San Antonio. Shout out to the Point, Parks and Eats.
Started at the Point, now we're here.
And I thought I was going to drop off a bag of merch, and I wound up staying there for 5 hours talking to this dude.
Oh, wow.
That was on a Sunday.
But you did you like him, or were you like, what, where he's just really cool?
No, none of that.
So,
I was legit meeting it could have been, I could have been meeting Guyland. Like, I could have been meeting anyone. There was no, I need to dress up for this, or... in my head, it was a business transaction that was happening.
Right.
Meeting someone, dropping off merch. That was it.
Well, was that your intention? Or were you trying to holler at her?
I thought she was very cute.
Okay.
And
Thank you. That's so nice.
80% it was just want to get merch. 20% it was I want to hang out with her and get to know her a little bit. I mean, at the time I wasn't even living here, so I didn't have any expectation of that happening.
Didn't you even tell your friend right before you were coming over? Like,
I told a buddy of mine, because I knew she just seemed really cool, but I didn't. You don't know.
Well, she is really cool.
She is.
She actually is. Yeah,
and you don't know anyone until you hang out with them. But she just seemed really cool, and just based on, I don't know. I told the buddy, because I was in town. I didn't have a car. He let me borrow his truck to go over here to meet her. I said, dude, this is one of those times.
Right, you can borrow your car. Yeah. And he borrowed his car, his booze, his jacket. He borrowed everything from
I didn't have any winter clothes.
Anyways, different story.
I was in Hawaii. It was
White
hot.
people can just borrow shit because they know they're going to get it back.
So all I know is that I felt like I might like her. And so I told my buddy, if I come back and tell you that, oh, my God, I really like this girl, I want you to kick me in the balls. Because I was single and I've only been divorced, I've only been separated for 8 months, and I wanted to
That's a while.
Well,
8 months is a while to me. When I broke up with my ex, I was heartbroken for 2 months, and then I was like, all right, let's start dating again. But I did I was fully heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 8 months is a while.
But you just feel like, okay, I have not been single much in my life.
So you had no game.
I got a shit ton of game.
Oh, he did have.
Bam.
He's coming on. He's trying.
Yeah.
Game.
What's up?
I knew he was interested, and then my mama.
Yeah.
My mama, bless her heart, she always told me to never let a guy guess. Like, if you like him, you let him know. And so it was funny because we left the Point, and the only reason I left is because my kiddo had piano lessons. And I messaged him first, letting him know, hey, I enjoyed our time together. Whatever. Just feeling it out. Like, I think that was...
It was really
But in
just...
my head, too, knowing he was a radio guy and this is what he does, I'm like, he could just be kind and nice to everybody. It could have been nothing. Maybe I've just... Because I'd been under my kiddo's cancer rock for so long. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, maybe this is just me misreading something, So.
That's a little interesting, though, that I'm sorry that happened to your child, and I hope he's doing better.
He's doing amazing.
Good.
Baby.
But
full remission.
But it was 9 months. And then it's interesting that you were removed from your marriage about 8 months separate. So it's kind of interesting timing.
And we've talked about that because right before I met him, I went through everything with Elijah as a single mom, as a single woman, cried myself in the shower, on the floor, in the closet, picked myself up. No one to cuddle me at night, nothing. And so I remember having this feeling of dude, your son beat cancer and you were there by yourself and you pulled yourself up from this crazy part of life alone. You don't need no man. Then in fucking step Mike Taylor 5 days later.
And I went into it thinking,
it's weird.
I was on purpose going to stay single for a while just because just to refine my Quan, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, you found your
Aztec
queen, man.
When you know, knowing I didn't even live here at the time, knowing that I had this goal to stay single for 2 or you can't put math on your emotions. Yeah. You have no control on that. And I'm convinced had I not met her, I would probably still be single right now. But
Ivy's taken still.
You'd be gone. You'd be gone.
I
don't
know.
know.
I would have been snatched up.
It was going to be something out of the cosmos before I was going to commit again, and now here it is. We've been talking every day since.
It's crazy, and I know we have to go, but what's crazy too is like, so we met on a Sunday. He had to leave that Thursday, and he was really busy when he was in town that week. So he left, and it was like, girl was legit like being in high school. Like, can I have your number, girl? Can I call you? And for 8 weeks, we courted over the phone. It was talking on the phone till 4 a.m. and sending text messages.
Real
and
high school shit.
Super high school shit. And so what's funny is like, here I am falling for this guy. I'm like, what if his dick is awkward? Or like, what if you don't kiss right? What, all these things.
Dude, that happens. You could like really like somebody and then they pull out their.
I've been circumcised. I'm good.
But they pull it out and you're like, holy shit, this is what I thought. I gotta cut you off. Yeah, yeah.
He's got like weird, like weird ass, like just
or his breath stinks.
Yeah. Or I laugh like this.
And looks like that. While
or he can't get it up. He has a,
It could have been a million. Someone. I'm falling for this guy. He comes in, and it's like, so it was just also.
Can't get it up,
cool.
Carolina.
I don't know.
I'm not confident because I'm tall.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't
dear.
need to know that. Okay,
love.
Gylan is
love.
rushing us
I'm
into
sorry.
this or that.
I'm sorry.
So we gotta go to this or that.
I'm not sorry, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, Taylor.
Yes.
Pickles for dinner tomorrow night.
That's your
7
this
p.m.
or that. We got Nina versus Sam. You gotta pick one.
Nina, bye, Sam.
Okay, all right. He got
I'm not
it.
a
That
dummy.
was quick.
Poor
Okay.
Puma.
All right.
I love
So
you,
we're getting
Puma.
rid of Puma. All right. Was that all the this or that? So we got 2 more. Well, we gotta wrap it up. Okay.
Oh, my
no,
bad.
no,
Oh,
we don't
my-
gotta wrap it up. Okay.
We gotta roll it and bacon.
He's
We gotta-
getting it. He's getting it prepared.
We got to roll
Or
it.
come in here, JD. Come in here. Hold on, JD's gonna tell us. Do
Okay.
we gotta wrap it up?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, he said wrap it up.
You got
Okay,
kicked.
okay. Okay, we're getting kicked off the air because we go too long. We talk too damn long. But
Sorry.
But real quick, you got the kids. The kids saying, "I'm gonna be a judge. I'm
Yes.
gonna be there."
For the barbecue.
Tell
Thank you.
Brad.
Roll
Tell
one.
Brad. Put me on the brisket category.
Okay, cool.
So tell
Yeah,
Brad.
we didn't
Caroline
get
wants to be on
picked last
brisket.
year.
Yeah.
You got
We
it.
were on that first year we got to judge.
What did
Girl,
you have
the
last
brisket
year?
was bomb
Pork or
as
some shit? What did you have
hell.
last year?
Brisket.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah,
was like the
back
best
on the
brisket ever,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Pork last year.
What do you want this year, man? Well, you don't need to
I
do
don't
shit.
care. I want to do all of them.
You ain't gonna do
See,
nothing.
No, you tried to pull that shit last time and take
I
away my
know.
judging, and I'm
I
like,
know.
don't do that to me.
She's the
Let
queen
me-
of the ball.
I want to be a judge.
Okay,
and eat my
cool.
meat.
And I'm gonna be there to support the
Eat the
kids.
meat.
Yes.
If you were, and it's gonna be April 1st.
Yes.
Wherever the hell it's at. New podcast drops tomorrow for you guys.
Yes.
7 p.m.
So if you guys want to follow Mike Taylor Show, and your @ is Nina.
This Nina Girl.
This Nina Girl. We're gonna see the show, so we're gonna catch it. But I really appreciate you guys for coming on. I'll see you guys at the
course.
barbecue. Can I get a
Thank you.
free plate? I know that's kind
Of course, you're a judge. You should. You didn't pay last time, did you?
We didn't get
we didn't get plates.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I want a plate.
Just hit me up.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you
Yeah,
up. But
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I would be
Good, you know,
stealing
I'm
from
happy that you
children. That's kind
mentioned
of why I didn't want to ask for a plate. But
No, we had leftovers when it was over. We had a shit ton of sausage, so.
okay.
Okay.
Well, shout out to the
Okay.
Thunderdome. We appreciate
Okay.
you for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank
I
you,
finished my
Carolina.
drink.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, dear. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys next
Bye.
week. Love you, Gylan.